We have an update. Atozy is in South Korea at the courthouse and did a broadcast live after the trial. He did this today. He streamed this like 12 hours ago. So we are going, he had his day in court today. So we are going to get an update from Atozy about what happened with the Johnny trial. It's been a while, so let's find out just how fucked he is.
Things, like last time things went awful for Johnny, this time it went terrible. He even got humiliated in court. I mean, it was really bad from the start. And just to start things off, I'm gonna run through the whole trial so you guys kind of get a picture of how things were, even though you guys weren't there. So there was a few people there. There wasn't that many people this time. But Johnny at 3:59, Johnny's lawyer came in. So right on time for the trial and so on. Then at 4, a woman walked in who apparently was a witness. We didn't know of her. We hadn't seen her. We were assuming that Bong Bong was gonna testify today, but apparently not. Then at 4:03, Hank walked in, and that also confirmed that Hank is still associated with Johnny. Then at 4:05, so this is 5 minutes after his trial started, Johnny was still not there. So Hank, he starts panicking and talking to the lawyer, and they don't know where Johnny is. So then,
oh my sweet fuck. His other court case again. He did this last time. If memory serves, Johnny was like a half-hour fucking late for his court case last time. No, Reaper, he's not in jail. He is not. No, Johnny has not fled the country. Garrett can't flee the country. South Korea has him on a travel lockdown. He cannot flee the country. He's not capable of it. If he goes to any kind of transportation to get out of the country, they'll bitch slap him. The only way for him to get out is to basically get in a dinghy and try to row himself out to sea, and even then they'll still grab him. So, but yeah, the first trial, I think he was like a half hour late. No, already he's late for his second trial. And Sanix, I don't know. He only just started, only a minute into this. I don't know if he's going to show up drunk. But the fact that even Hank didn't know where he was, because I have seen like blurbs that Hank is kind of getting done with Johnny. And the fact that Hank didn't know where Johnny was, Atozy's saying like he's still with him in some regard, but I think Hank is like seriously distancing himself from Johnny at this point, because of all the shit that Johnny's been doing. So I think he's started to put some separation between the two of them.
Hank has to run out of the courtroom and I guess call Johnny and figure out where this guy is. So moving on with my notes here, let's see, 1 second. Then we have at 4:07, Johnny then walks in, this time respectfully, in a fitting suit. It seems like Johnny realized how bad things were and finally took the cue and he was like, okay, I'm gonna lock in because clearly things are not going well.
Atozy, do not give this child more credit than he deserves. I seriously doubt that Johnny is, quote, locking in, unquote. Just because he shows up less late than the first time and is wearing a suit that actually fits does not qualify as locking in. Okay? This is Johnny fucking Somali we're talking about.
So then everyone sits down, or everyone stands up, judge walks in, everyone sits down. Okay, court starts. So then at 4:12, Johnny then confirms that he is still a quote-unquote student and that he still actually lives at Hank's house. So
that's a fucking
interesting
lie.
because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me. I do not help Johnny anymore. I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently.
So he just fucking lied. or someone's lying. If Hank is saying Johnny doesn't live with me anymore, I'm not supporting him, and Johnny is saying A, I'm a student, fucking lie there. B, I'm living with Hank and Hank's supporting me, another potential fucking. So there's lot. Well, it's not double lies, Reaper. It's which one is lie. Is Hank lying or is Johnny lying? Which one is it? Somebody's lying. One of the two of them is lying, at least. Well, Garrett, he's not. I don't even know what school he's like supposedly supposed to be attending, claiming to be a student. He's claimed to be a student from day one, and he has never attended school anywhere in any of the countries that he's claimed to be a student. Not once. It's a fucking lie.
That's not true. So I do not help Johnny anymore. I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently, that's not true. So then we have the 8 charges that he's currently facing.
Right.
I have Gabe with me here, who's been helping me translate and also find all the location and everything, and so on. So shout out to this man for being here. But essentially, so there's the first charges they talk.
Well, it's easy to say that Johnny is lying, but honestly, Hank has been almost as much of a scumbag protecting Johnny this whole time. Granted, he's using Johnny as his living blow-up doll. He's been using Johnny as a blow-up doll this whole time. So Hank is not exactly what could be charitably considered a reliable narrator in the first place. So either one of them or both of them to be lied, because that's all they do. Don't forget, Hank got booted the fuck out of America because of the shit he tried to pull on his streams. And his parents absolutely hate him and Johnny because of what has been happening with Johnny and the fact that Hank has been supporting him and protecting him this whole time, probably in exchange for that little boy ass of Johnny's. Because yes, they fuck it. And anybody who doesn't think that they fucking is an idiot. So yeah, and Hank is the pitcher, Johnny's the catcher, if anybody's interested. Someone's lying though. And it's possible that Hank could be lying, saying, no, I don't support him. Because Hank could possibly be saying that so his family doesn't cut him off. Because let's not forget, his family hates Johnny. And so if he says, yes, if he says in open court, yes, I'm supporting Johnny and he's staying in my place, his family may go, okay, we're done, you're cut off. So it's entirely possible that Hank could be lying on this one, so he still gets that sweet, sweet family money of his.
So shout out to this man for being here. But essentially, so
I believe it is
the
an
first charges
Anthony.
they talked about were it was the business obstruction charges, and they
Yes.
were related to the buses.
Yes,
Correct?
this is the new charge that they announced today. So this is the one that we didn't know for sure, but I predicted was going to be the bus incident on the 27th.
So that was was it 7011 bus or was it 7013A?
It was 7011 and
Okay.
7013A.
Okay, and then you had another bus 20. Oh, so it was the 2024 incident. That's why it was bus 2024. Okay,
Yes,
so that's
yes,
okay.
this is
Right.
something that happened in 2024.
Ah.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
why.
Reaper, they said he's got 8 charges.
Oh no, Johnny lost his sugar daddy. Rest in jail, Johnny.
Well, he may not be in jail. He's not currently in jail. He's still out on his own recognizance. For now anyway. And yeah, I told him said at the beginning he's got 8 charges in total. And my guess is there is still the potential for more. The South Korean court system could very likely bring even further charges. It's just at present there are 8 charges, and if all the charges, if he's guilty on all charges, and they kind of do, they kind of sort of max out the sentencing, yeah, it's going to be like 35, 37 years total if they max out the sentencing on all the charges.
Yeah, that's also why they're adding it to this case, among many reasons, is because it was all around the same time. So they
Right.
consider this a crime spree.
Okay. And so the first 2 disturbances, so the first bus, that was for playing NK propaganda on the bus. And then the second one was for just text-to-speech donations and just, disturbing the peace on the bus. So
noises and
loud
refusing
noises.
to turn it down.
Yes,
causing a
and then
disturbance,
interacting.
and also the live streaming. That in itself they consider to be a disturbance. That making other people feel uncomfortable if you have your camera. Like right now we're here, we're not putting people in the frame, right?
Well, Eyeball, if I remember correctly, what Legal Mindset was saying is basically he's probably going on he's going probably from the viewpoint of, realistically speaking, when sentencing comes down, they're probably the South Korean court is probably not going to 100% max sentencing on all the charges. And so I think what Legal Mindset was saying is that a realistic number when it comes to time in jail is probably 12 years. But that's going on this. I think that was going on the assumption that not all of the charges being filed against him, if they result in guilty verdicts or pleas, that was going on the assumption that the court would not issue max sentencing for all the charges. And he was looking at a realistic sentencing as opposed to what the absolute maximum could be. The absolute maximum could be at present is somewhere between 35 and 37 years. The realistic level of sentencing is probably going to be 12 years. And if there's charges that are in this district, these other charges. Andrea, I believe that they took the charges from that other district and they're amalgamating them into the main district. From what I understand, I believe they're moving those cases over to the district where he has these 8 charges, and they're sort of, I believe there was talk about them just amalgamating all those charges into one district. I think I vaguely recall Legal Mindset talking about that something several weeks ago. Yeah, I'm saying amalgamating. It's consolidating is the correct word, and it was yes. So yeah, they're consolidating all the charges into one court instead of multiple districts.
You're on a bus, you're live streaming other people as well.
Yeah.
So that's considered a disturbance as well.
So then at 4:15, you had that moment where they went, oh, if you change the time, we plead guilty here. And that didn't fully make sense to me. So like, what was that about? Because that was what Johnny's team said.
It's very common for an accusation to have like some small mistake, like it be a date or a time or a location. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
If you say no, it wasn't this day, it was that day, it's still a crime. It doesn't matter. But Johnny nitpicks about stuff like this, and the lawyer brought that up as an argument. And so the compromise was: do you admit to everything except the date that this happened? Yes, he admits to everything except for the date. Okay, that's a guilty plea.
Okay, so yeah, then he pled guilty for all the obstruction charges. So all 4 obstruction of business charges, he pled guilty for.
Right.
Nice.
Then, so because of that plea, then the witness got up and left because they no longer needed her to testify against him, because we're assuming that the witness was one of the workers at Lotte World who witnessed him, disrupt and stop the ride and do all the stuff he did there.
Yeah, when she turned around, I recognized her from the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
100%. I recognized her from the video.
Okay, so then you had the whole deepfake charges. So the lawyer then said that.
Okay. So he pled guilty. I think it's not like he pled guilty even to the Lotte World charges.
When she turned around, I recognized her from the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. 100%. Worker needed her to testify against him because we're assuming that the witness was one of the workers at Lotte World who witnessed him, disrupt and stop the ride and do all the stuff he did there.
Yeah, when she turned around, I recognized her from the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 100%. I recognized her from the video.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you had the whole deepfake charges.
Okay. So all of the obstruction of business charges, including the Lotte World one from Lotte World, he's pled guilty. So that's what? That was 4 charges? I think that was 4 charges because it was like 8 in total. So he's pled guilty to half of them so far.
100%. I recognized her from the video.
Okay. So then you had the whole deepfake charges. So the lawyer then said that Johnny was intoxicated. So they used him being intoxicated as an excuse for why he distributed those.
Their number one argument is that, and this was his lawyer finally making it.
Okay, so Moose, there's no verdict yet. Johnny has pled guilty to 4 counts of obstruction of business. including the incident at Multiworld. And now we're addressing the deepfake charges where he's basically pleading I was drunk. And I have no idea how this is going to fly in a Korean court saying I was too drunk. Child sexual endangerment charges are still pending as they weren't included in the instruction of business. Ah, okay, very good.
Your number one argument is that, this was his lawyer finally making an argument, which they've been asking him to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you're supposed to do in court.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying, oh, I gave you the evidence, or oh, I'll tell you later. But finally they got him to make an argument, and his number one argument was he did not produce the deepfakes, even though I think he probably did. Mm-hmm. He did not produce the deepfakes, all he did was to distribute them. So you admit to distributing them.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah.
But he is insisting on a not guilty plea. So it looks like his lawyer or somebody was able to convince him that the Multiworld charge was a lost cause. Mm-hmm. And so that's what Johnny gave.
Interesting.
Guilty plea, changing the plea from not guilty to guilty for Multiworld.
Yeah.
But insisting on not guilty for the deepfakes.
Okay. And then that's when a new dialogue started, because that's when the prosecution wanted to bring in witnesses for the deepfakes, and Johnny's lawyer did not want witnesses involved at all.
Right.
Really?
What happened after they didn't want witnesses? What did the judge say, and how was the reaction of the court then?
This was interesting. He, since he got overruled when he tried to block the witnesses.
Yeah.
They do not want Bong Bong to testify. They don't want Yongman. They don't want either of them to testify. That's
okay.
Clear.
Well, I mean, Leo, that's why they don't want the witnesses. Witness in this case probably would be required in order to make the case work. That's why they didn't want the witness to testify, because if they don't get the witness to testify, it's probably much easier for them to basically work out a not guilty for that case. And obviously the court's like, I don't fucking think so. They're going to be witnesses. So
Bong Bong to testify. They don't want Yongman. They don't want either of them to testify. That's
okay.
Clear. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We've known that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, he was actively in court trying to block them, and he was overruled on that.
Okay.
So, but since they're having the witnesses, the lawyer requested more time than usual.
Okay.
To examine them.
So
why?
What's a normal time to examine someone, you think?
It depends on the case, and then all that, they'll set it, and for this they set 15 minutes for the defense for the lawyer to interview the
okay.
They set 15 minutes, and since he couldn't block it, he wanted more time with the witnesses, which means if they can't block the witnesses, they really want to grill them. So he might be planning on going all in on Bong Bong.
Oh, wow. Okay, so is it Johnny's lawyer that's grilling Bong Bong, or the prosecution that's grilling Bong Bong?
It'll be first the prosecution for 15 minutes, and then next is Johnny's lawyer for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then the judge might ask some questions as well.
And then you have another witness as well. So it'll be ×2, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And
interesting.
Then another ×2 because they're going to do a translation for everything.
Oh,
so
wow.
So it got
okay.
twice as long. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And that's happening in October.
Well, Rygat, I don't know if they're going to try and bully the witnesses per se. Johnny's lawyer asked for more time. Probably, I won't necessarily go to saying that his lawyer was going to try to bully Bon Bon, but I will say that he's probably going to do his best to try and poke holes into her story, which is what any good lawyer does when it comes to, doing cross-examination with a witness that could potentially hurt your case. A good lawyer will try and trip up the witness, poke holes in their story. That's par for the course when it comes to lawyering, honestly.
And then other than that, so then you had what were the minor crimes charges? Were they ever brought up?
I don't know,
during this
Cortanis.
case or trial?
That is settled that the plea is guilty.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Brought up during this case. Then you had what were the minor crimes charges? Were they ever brought up during this case or trial?
That is settled that the plea is guilty.
Okay.
So, minor crimes, and now we can say obstruction of business. The plea is guilty for 6 charges.
Okay. Interesting. And so overall, how...
No, anti-meme, it won't be. It will not be a time served because Johnny has not spent any time in jail. Johnny has been out on his own recognizance, racking up charges since his first charge. He has not spent any time in a jail cell. The entire time he's been out on his own and has been racking up charges while he's been out on his own waiting for his court case. So he got one initial court case for obstruction of business. I'm pretty sure that may have been for the 7-Eleven. He got charged, and while he was waiting for his court date, he obviously was it's like it's been over a year. While he was waiting for his court date, he continued to basically be the jack-off that he is and racked up even more fucking charges, all of which have been consolidated into a singular case. But he has not spent a single day in a jail cell, which means there ain't no fucking time served. Because he hasn't served any time. At all.
Was Johnny's lawyer?
Flustered, definitely out of his depth. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I know he was pressured by Hank's family to be a part of this case, and I think he's trying to do his best to balance between Johnny and normalcy.
Yeah.
Sane, actual normal procedure.
Yeah. And how is the prosecution handling this case, you feel like?
I mean, obviously very professional.
Okay.
Right.
So would you consider them to be pretty aggressive on this case, or how would you rate it?
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive.
Wait, he got banned from party as well, Andrea? I hadn't heard about that. I had not heard that he got banned from party. That was the only one that I was aware that he was still allowed on. The only thing I heard about Purdy is he wasn't making enough money on it to elicit a payout, so he was making no money on Party. I didn't realize he actually got booted off of Party as well. Oh, okay. So he's honestly, the fact that he has become persona non grata online is one of the best punishments you could ever give him. Yeah, Rip Bozo. That is far more of a punishment than you can ever give him. Is because his entire life has been dedicated to basically being an online persona. His streaming was all he had. That was the only thing that he had that gave him even the smallest form of legitimacy. And now that's gone. Honestly, I don't know when Party kicked him off, but honestly, that is what might drive him to desperation more than anything. The only time streams I does on Hank's streaming account, yeah. And how long before, Hank's streaming account, how long before Hank's account gets nuked because Johnny is doing a ban evasion? Because I'm assuming Hank's account is either YouTube or Twitch, would be my guess. And so how long before Hank's account gets banned because Johnny is doing ban evasion? And then once Hank loses his stream, he's got nothing. So right now the only stream he's got is a borrowed stream. Yeah, they're both kind of done, aren't they?
The paradox is, how can you simultaneously admit to having distributed, which is the crime that it's accused of, and insist on this not guilty plea?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's just, it's thinking.
It's desperation. That's what it is. It's desperation.
But that's what we just witnessed.
Wow.
Is this lawyer using Johnny's argument?
Yeah.
Saying basically, I didn't make it, so I'm not guilty. Even though, again, I think he did.
And also, like, the whole charge is for the distribution. So they're like, oh, we didn't make it. I did distribute it, though. But I was drunk. That's essentially what we're seeing unfold.
Yes, that's the mental gymnastics that we saw happen today. Lawyer was very flustered, turning red, stuttering.
Ray.
I don't think he has a natural stutter like Hank, but he does have a strange way of talking.
Yeah.
But he definitely seemed very uncomfortable.
Interesting. Did the judge give any reaction to this, or was he confused, or how was the judge reacting to this?
The judge.
Carrot, from what I understand from the way they explained it, Johnny tried to argue that he was drunk during the making of the deep fake, but he wasn't drunk for the distribution of the deep fake, which is the crime that he was accused of. So he basically made a completely stupid argument that absolves him of nothing. That's what he did. He made an argument of I was drunk, and it absolves him of nothing because of what he claimed he was drunk. He claimed he was drunk during the making of, not during the distribution of. No? Hang on. I gotta find where he's talking about. Okay, where was he talking about he was drunk? Hang on. 939.
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it. The paradox is how can you?
Oh,
so
wow.
it got making
Okay.
it twice as long. Yeah.
Okay.
He's guilty.
Okay.
So, minor crimes, and now we can say obstruction of business.
Interesting. And so overall, how was?
Out of his depth,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel bad.
And so overall,
Damn, where did they talk about what did they talk about it?
It depends on the case, and then all that they'll set it. And for this, they set 15 minutes for the defense too.
and then that's when that like a new dialogue started, because that's when the prosecution wanted to bring in witnesses for the.
Convinced him that the Lotte World charge was a lost. That's what pleaded guilty for Lotte World.
Yeah. And then that's when that like a new dialogue started. Lawyer did not want witnesses of all witnesses.
He got overruled when he tried to block the witness to tell. Yes, he was actively in court trying to block them, and he was overruled. The lawyer requested more time. For this, they set 15 witnesses, which means planning on going all.
Grilling bong bong or the prosecution's grilling
Thank
bong
you,
bong?
First the
Swordsman.
prosecution for 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
the next. It's thinking. The more I think about it, the crazier it is. Distributed.
Yeah.
Which is
Here we go.
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it. The paradox is how can you simultaneously admit to having distributed,
Yeah.
which is the crime that it's accused of, and insist on this not guilty plea.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's just it's.
Yeah, well, no, they're okay. So Bestman, yeah, they were insisting that he was. I think they were saying he was he didn't distribute.
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it.
Yeah.
Normal, sane, actual normal procedure.
Yeah. And how is the prosecution handling this case? Are you pretty aggressive on this case, or?
On it, the paradox is how can you? The more I think about it, the crazy.
Okay, it's anyway. Regardless, he's trying to come up. Johnny's trying to use the drunk excuse. No, Mike, do not feel bad for Johnny. Do not feel bad for him. Okay, Johnny is getting less than what he deserves. Okay? Johnny is getting far less than what he deserved. This is a guy that was just rampaging around Korea, making people's lives an absolute living hell. All right? He was just like running around Korea, blasting North Korean propaganda, having his chat, blasting TTS things through a Bluetooth speaker that were highly sexual in nature. He was basically just trashing 7-Elevens by just dumping shit all over the floor. There was a concert in a park that he went that he just broke right into and fucked up their concert. Don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry that he lost Sugar Daddy either, Mike. I don't feel sorry for Johnny losing anything. Okay? I want Johnny to, with what Johnny has done in Korea, in Japan, in Israel, in all of the different places that he's visited where he was just a complete ass fuck the entire time he's been in those different countries, this is the first time he's actually suffering consequences. For the first time, he may actually be getting some legit consequences that he has never received before. And I hope they throw the fucking book at him. Because the reason why he has behaved the way he has is because he's never really suffered consequences. He spent like a very brief time in a Japanese jail. And then He spent like a very brief time in a Japanese jail, and then lied to the judge's face, saying he was sorry. And then as soon as he fled Japan, he got on stream laughing, saying, "Yeah, ha, I lied straight to that judge's face. I don't fucking care." Johnny deserves everything that's coming to him. And the reason why he behaves the way he does is because he has never received punishment for anything that he has done. And like, yeah, I mean, and Leo, he's done so much. What I just spoke about is a fraction of the things that he's done. He is an absolute scumbag and needs to become some guy's girlfriend in prison. That's it. That's it. He obviously does not fucking care. He thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So you know what? Let him become someone's girlfriend in prison. It'll get him out of all of our hair. And maybe it'll finally be the fucking wake-up call that you fuck around, you're gonna find out. He needs a serious find out moment, and that's gonna be in prison.
Did you give any reaction to this, or was he confused, or how was the judge reacting to this?
The judge, as usual, is very, sort of above everything, above the fray, and was very calm and very patient with the process. But he's also the one who said, "No, you cannot block these witnesses, and no, you cannot extend your, interview time with them."
Right.
Cross-examination.
Good.
Wow. Do you have any other overall thoughts on this trial?
That was crazy. That was just insane.
And
just all this stuff. There's so much stuff that's just unprecedented. It's stuff you just don't do.
Okay, yeah. So this is just an absolutely not a normal
This
trial.
is like it's almost like Monty Python.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so it is just a full-on clown fest.
It's a clown fest.
Okay.
It is absolutely
Why?
a clown fest.
If you were going to give a prediction of like how the prosecution was and like in previous cases you've seen in Korea, what do you think the most likely sentence that he will get from all this is?
No, they will not. South Korea will not. They might, like, the only thing the South Korean court system might do in relation to the other countries where he has been and also caused chaos is maybe, and I highly doubt this will happen. I highly doubt this will happen. But they might contact the countries to basically speak the other countries and ask them what he did in their countries and basically factor that into sentencing. But they're not going to do it. They can't do additional charges. They can't do additional charges. And honestly, I don't think that they're going to even contact the other countries and ask what he did there to factor them into his crimes in South Korea, because those are completely different countries and would have no bearing. It wouldn't really have any bearing on the charges in South Korea. Realistically speaking, so I honestly don't think that they're going to even contact the other countries. They're going to focus solely on what was done in South Korea, and that's it. That's all they're going to focus on.
At this point, I think the prosecutor is going to say something like 4 or 5 years. Maybe
Wow. Okay.
Because of Johnny's insistence.
Yeah.
And because of his insincerity with his guilty pleas.
Yeah. And now, I mean, finally he's locked in, but it also seems like it's kind of too late to start acting like he's actually sorry. Because
it was too
he
late
didn't actually
a while
act
ago.
like he was sorry today. He was just being respectful. He was being a normal person today, from what I saw. And that's really it. Yeah, the bar is really set low. But hey, it is
The bar
what it
is subterranean.
But yeah, I think that's all for now. I'll be making a full video soon. What would you say?
Hank was fine. Johnny's behavior was fine.
Yeah.
Lawyer, just feel bad for that guy.
Well, that's it. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you guys when I make a full long-form video on this. I'll see you next one. Peace, guys.
Okay, so the new update. Johnny now has 6. He's pled guilty to 6 charges in total. He had 2 from the last time, the minor crimes one. He had 2 from that one, and now he has pled guilty to 4 more. So we have 6 guilty pleas. And then I guess that leaves the deepfake charges, I guess. And God only knows when that's going to happen. So Yeah, Johnny's fucked. He's fucked.